Greetings, travelers.
Greetings, travelers.
Oh my gosh, it's a Carrie.
Yes.
It's a log Carrie. Yes, Erica is still down with the sickness. She has whatever when she got involved with the not deer and the chupacabra at that Christmas party. It just it was not good. So anyway, she sends her regrets that, but she will be back shortly. But she's very, very sad because we have very special guests for this one.
Oh, yeah. I had to come on. I was excited.
Yeah, this was a Carrie must because, as you know, Carrie is queen of all the animals, particularly the wild ones, and anything that isn't too fuzzy. She likes the fuzzy ones too. It's just I'm the one who can't do the fuzzy ones.
I like everything.
True. So, all right. Well, without further delay, because you guys have read the title of this episode, I'm sure on your Spotify or your iTunes or whatever, we have a couple of rangers from Red Clay Park, and we are going to bring them on right now. Here they are, Taylor and Cord. Hi.
Hey.
So we know who you are. We met you guys at the Green Eyes Festival over in Chickamauga, and you guys were just awesome. So without further ado, why don't you introduce yourselves, however you want to do it, and then let our travelers know who the heck you are.
Yeah. Hey, thank you. Thanks. That was a great festival as well. So.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So, all right. So who are you people?
So I am Taylor Young. I'm a park interpretive ranger at Red Clay State Historic Park in Cleveland, Tennessee.
And I'm Cord Rawls. I tell some stories. I'm actually not a ranger. I work maintenance, but general staff. I do some interpretive stuff and upkeep and try to pull my weight in different ways.
He's basically a ranger at this point.
in all but title. Right? In all but titles.
How long have you guys been doing this?
So I started as a seasonal ranger in 2021 and got hired on full time in August of 22. So 3 years for me. And about the same for you, Ish.
Yeah, I actually started as maintenance in 2021 and then was the seasonal ranger after Taylor, directly following Taylor. And then we've went away and come back and went away and come back. And so we've kind of been here about the same amount of times as 2021 with similar-ish experiences for a minute.
All right, so the park just keeps pulling you back, I hear. So.
It's my home park, for sure.
Same. I grew up 10 minutes down the road from Red Clay, so it's kind of always been just a part of my life. So inevitably, I ended up back here after college. So
awesome. So tell us a little bit about the park, where why you keep coming back.
So Red Clay is a historic site. Hence the name. It was the last place the Cherokee Native Americans had their council meetings before the Trail of Tears in 1838. So from 1832 to 1838, there were 11 general council meetings held here on the park grounds. And for a lot of people, this is where they found out they were going to lose everything. But I'll put it how my manager likes to put it. Some people say this is where the Trail of Tears started because they learned that. But my manager likes to say that the Trail of Tears started at every family's doorstep. So here at Red Clay, we interpret the 19th century history and culture of the Cherokee people. We also celebrate the Cherokee people as they are today.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, we had we dealt a lot with the Cherokee tribe, Eastern Cherokee tribe, because when we were doing our Dark Side of the Smokies, we had Kathy Littlejohn, chief storyteller. She's amazing. And a lot of the elders of the tribe helped us out with the local lore. But for them, it's not lore; it's just history and nature. And we thought it's just so cool that that's the process of that. And to us Appalachians, it's the same thing. It's not folklore. It's not family. It's family tradition. It's history.
Yeah,
that's what you were always told growing up. That's what you know.
It's that oral history.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. And now, as an interpretive ranger there, Taylor, we saw you just got an award recently.
Yes,
so congratulations on that. So
thank you. I appreciate it.
And we'll put the link to that in the show notes down here. So so that everybody can read that too.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome. Now, when we met you guys, you were up at the Green Eyes Festival, which is Old Green Eyes is a wonderful monster, and he's available for information in Dark Side of the Smokies, available to find bookstores everywhere. Yeah, hey, we got to plug those wherever.
Plug it.
But anyway, you guys told a couple stories. One I had not heard in a long time, Cord. Would you mind sharing us one of your stories, either one or any one you want to? Would you go ahead and give us a little yarn?
Yeah, absolutely. So I tell stories. We do a few programs with stories here at the park, and I like to, before I tell any stories, I like to preface with that I am not a Cherokee person.
Me either.
And I don't tell Cherokee stories the way they would have told them. For them,
Right.
Like you mentioned earlier, which is an exceptional thing to point out for them. It's history. It's an oral history. It's different traditions, and it's from a perspective that I don't share. So when I tell these stories, I share them definitely in more of the traditional way of telling stories, the way I guess a Southern white guy would tell stories. And that's and so I like to tell people, like, hey, if you hear somebody that is actually Cherokee telling this story and they tell it different, believe them. It's theirs, but
100%. That's theirs.
Sure,
Cultural appropriation. We are just trying to share the stories. Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. So they're incredible, and I love sharing them. And so,
well, you got to bring a bit of yourself to the story too, you know?
Yeah.
Because the story comes through you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just like to give a little disclaimer there to ease things along for that and really make a differentiation. But I love telling the story. I guess Uktana, I think a lot of people, people have heard of. I was going to say a lot of people. That'd be false. I haven't really met very many other people at all that have heard the story of Uktana before, but it's part of a much larger story that, if you're just hearing about Uktana, picks up kind of in the middle of this conflict between the sun and the people. And it's a common, many of the stories I hear kind of preface with back when everything spoke a common language, when the people and the animals and the plants all spoke a common language. And that's where we're at with this story. The sun was trying to kill the people for it had its own reasons we won't get into because it will take forever.
We'll be here for like 3 hours.
That's a future season.
Yeah.
We'll do 12 hours. Cord, you and I, we'll just go 12 hours off on that. We'll talk about the spider that saves them from the flood. We'll talk about all that. Yeah.
The sun's daughter and all this, but
yep.
So the sun was trying to kill the people, and this was obviously a really big problem. It just became so intense and so hot. It was making everybody sick, and people were dying, and this was a big problem. And the little people, who, that's all we'll say about them, is they don't like to be taught.
Little people. Again, a whole chapter in Shark Side of the Smokies, available in fine bookstores.
Yep. There you go. Perfect. Absolutely. They developed a plan to go kill the sun. Actually, it's kind of a self-preservative act, I suppose. And so they did a lot of this magic, and they turned this man into a very powerful being that was ultimately a very large snake. It's big around as a tree. He had these massive antlers or horns. There's different accounts. Had these big spots down the side, a very beautiful but huge snake. Most importantly, it had this massive gemstone on his forehead called the Ulan Sudi that was a character in its own right. The book that I'm primarily getting this from, written by James Mooney, talks about the Ulan Sudi stone. Anybody that possesses it has to do a bunch of ritual to keep it satiated and keep it fed, but it would make them the most powerful doctor or witch or medicine man, different terms, around, would make them just the most powerful. And so Tana has this Ulan Sudi stone. It goes up to kill the sun and fails. And as a result, the little people send send a different snake up there, which ultimately succeeds, and it kind of drives Uktana mad with jealousy. It just becomes very angry and just super like dangerous to be around. And so they banish him to the Smokies, the Great Smoky Mountains. There's a specific mountain where it says in the book where all the dangerous things go. I'm like, oh, there's a story there that I don't even know. I've never even heard, but I'd love to hear. But all the dangerous things go to this mountain in the Smokies, and that's where they send him. But before he left, he made a bunch of other Uktanas similar to him, and not quite as big and not quite as dangerous or powerful, and assumedly without the Ullin City Stone. And so those are around. There's various other stories. There's Agnanichi, the Shawano medicine man that escaped being killed by the Cherokee people by going and hunting the original Uktana. And there's a story about the Chanua, which are these massive eagles or hawks that were carrying away children and dogs that the Cherokee people had to kind of go deal with. The Uktana shows up in there, and then it was actually our ranger here, our law enforcement ranger here at the park, was told by
I can't remember who
a man.
it was
I can't remember who
specifically.
it was, but I remember he was of knowledge. He was a Cherokee man of the Eastern Band that had a certain amount of authority over being able to talk about it. And he probably would not mind me not remembering his name and here without his permission anyway. He was a serious, but I genuinely can't remember his name.
Black line there, yeah.
Yeah, it could have been redacted.
Yeah.
No, but it's sort of be like, just trust me, bro. But
yeah.
That's what I've got for you right now. But he claims that all of the Uktana show up on the North Carolina side of the modern state line, except one that actually there's a report of seeing it in the Council Spring here at Red Clay. Just like we alluded to before, stories have a different place for the Cherokee oftentimes, and are taken seriously in different ways. And I was given the impression that they genuinely believe that. And man, I don't know if I'd love to see it or not.
It was very emphatic, and to kind of give a picture of the spring. So I did actually literally give you a picture of the spring. Promo pictures.
Gonna be in the notes. Yeah, that'll be great.
So that deep blue color of the spring is no joke. Like, that is unedited. That is what it looks like. And even a camera doesn't do it justice. Yeah. And the spring itself is about 14 feet deep. We don't know where the water comes from, but imagining one of these giant, I mean, not giant in this case, serpents kind of chilling and hanging out in the spring
it'd be chilling. It'd be chilling, but also at the same time. And then I guess to go back, while I'm like, I don't know that if I would like to see it. It's said that the Uktana, the original Uktana, if you were to see it, like, you can't fight it. Because if you were to see it, the Ullin City Stone just kind of has such this magnetic power that it will just draw you straight to him. You don't even put up a fight. You just walk straight to him. It's impossible to fight him. And even if you see him sleeping, that even just glimpsing or seeing Uktana and the Ullin City Stone, if he's sleeping, you might be able to get away, but it would kill your entire family back home. Like, very just devastating effects. I'm like, wow.
Very kaiju snake here that we're talking about. We were talking about the great serpent underneath that is the underworld, ruler of the underworld. That's what Serpent Mound supposedly is the effigy of. And then the Thunderbirds are, the rulers of the sky. And then all these guys in the middle are the ones that trying to appease the higher ones and avoid the lower ones. And Uktana's got some just amazing stories. Now, back to Ranger side of things then. So we've got a possible, creature there of some sort. What are some of the fun creatures there, like natural creatures, when people come to visit, what they can find, Taylor? What would you suggest they look for?
So you probably saw my face immediately light up. Yeah, no, I work at a historic park, but I'm actually a biologist.
Yes.
I've found a lot of ways to kind of intermarry these interests. So anytime I get a chance to nerd out about the wildlife here, I would gladly take. So we've got some of your standard like iconic mammals. You've got white-tailed deer. We have a ton of. We've got gray foxes. I haven't seen a red fox yet. We've got beavers, possums, river otters. And it's cool to talk about these animals and then explain the Cherokee relationship or beliefs or significance about them. So one of the things I learned recently is that there are several animals that the Cherokee believe have, they're immune to the cold, basically. So there's the red fox, not the gray fox, the red fox very specifically, possums, wolves, and white-tailed deer. So back in the day, hunters would rub their feet in the ashes of like a dead fire, and they would sing a song to channel the strength of these animals that are immune to the cold before they went out on a hunt when there's frost on the ground. We've also got all kinds of salamanders. We've got all kinds of turtles in our beaver pond. We've got the browback salamander, which shows up in small pockets near natural springs. As far as I know, we're the only state park in Tennessee that has them.
Yeah.
I want to see a cool salamander. Come on down.
Yeah.
They show up in pockets down through northwest Georgia and into Alabama, kind of along that Coosa and Conasauga River Basin line. We also are home to an endangered species of crayfish called the Conasauga blue burrower. I have never seen them because I'm not too keen on sticking my hand in holes in the ground and hoping that something latches on so I can pull it out and check it out. But they're an endangered species of crayfish. They are a burrowing crayfish. They actually build these kind of, think like an anthill, except the grains of dirt aren't grains of dirt. Like they don't look sandy. It's kind of a mud compacted like chimney. And they'll burrow down to the water table and that's where they'll live and breed and hang out. So yeah, I could talk about animals all day.
Honestly, gray fox is one of my favorites because I saw one in Florida when I was a kid.
Aww.
And they're kind of not a true fox, right? They're not vulpes. They're a little bit weird.
Yeah, they're Eurocyon, I think is their genus name. They're a really weird one. And I love to talk about them because they're kind of like the cats of the dog world. They are one of the only canines that can climb trees. They have wrists that rotate similar to like a cat's versus dogs. Typically, it's only a forward and backward motion. But their wrists rotate and their claws are semi-retractable so they can actually climb trees.
That's awesome.
They're pretty insane for.
All right. No,
so I guess you don't know where you're going to see them.
No, ground or trees. It's a surprise.
Well, there you go. It's part of the fun. Now, Carrie's big on spiders and snakes.
Yes, that's how I met Carrie, actually, at the Green Ice Festival. I noticed she was looking at something in a tree, and I walk over and I'm like, is it a jumping spider? And it was. So we talked about jumping spiders.
Yeah. I was weird looking at tree leaves.
No, it's okay. I'm the same way. That's why we connected.
Why this is perfect. So that's I'll go to the most haunted locations on earth, and I'm with a film crew, and it was a Shiloh Cemetery in the middle of nowhere, Florida, and we're looking for the children's ghosts, and the camera crew and we're packing up, and Carrie is like a ghost lodestone. Whenever anything weird's happening, if she's anywhere near it, it stops. So she happened to be on the other side of the park at this time, and we were filming this. I was telling the story for the camera crew, and then we packed up and we were leaving, and the crew was all upset because we had to march like a mile back to the RV because they couldn't get the RV into where this cemetery is. And suddenly, right as we're walking out, we hear the little ha 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 ha, this little kid's voice laughing, and I'm like, oh my god! And the camera guys are like, oh man, nothing's hooked up, but we finally heard it, and I'm like, Carrie, you were finally here to hear it. And I'm, Carrie. And she was way on the other side of the cemetery taking a picture of a butterfly. So,
Me too, girl. Me too. I would be right there with you.
I was honestly thrilled because I found more of them in the trees. Like, for whatever reason, those downtown trees are covered in those jumping spiders. They're thriving there. Good for them.
They're always in the weirdest spots. Like I find them on our gate when I close at night a lot.
Yeah.
And they'll be like on my truck. They're just so sweet.
Yeah. She rescues them when they're in the cold. So she's got a couple. We've got one that was in our mailbox. Her name is Stamp. And she's got she was laying eggs, so we were like, oh, we gotta save the eggs. So she's been feeding them.
I've been raising the babies and letting them out in the yard. So I have a handful I kept that are overwintering. But yeah, I have 2 species that just showed up, and I'm like, well, you're not in a good space, and you need some food. So
we already take care of the other spiders, so it's like, all right, just an extra handful.
We do that with caterpillars. We have a polyphemus moth that's overwintering on our countertop right now. Last year we had a leopard moth overwinter, and we released him in the spring. It was bittersweet because it's like, you've been with me all this time, but go spread your wings, literally.
Like that.
So any special snakes?
I would say not to discredit snakes.
No.
We've got this pretty standard Tennessee snakes. We only have 2 venomous species here in East Tennessee: the timber rattlesnake and the copperhead. Despite what your Meemaw says, we do not have cottonmouths out here, except for maybe the weird happenstance. It wandered off.
Some really dark copperheads.
Yeah, we do have some really gorgeous.
They're very closely related, so they can look. You get a really dark copperhead, it can look exactly like, or very similar to a cottonmouth. So.
Yeah, I can see where the confusion would come from there.
Absolutely.
So,
Copperheads are just gorgeous. I love the little green tail when they're young.
I know, it's so cute.
I have a soft spot for copperheads myself, but
they're like the little anglerfish of the snake world.
I found a worm snake the other day.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, I found a little worm snake. It's the first time I've ever seen one of those.
Really?
Yeah, I'd never seen one before. Taylor found a queen snake?
Yes. Oh. So I do a lot of creek programs with kids and adults too. Adults are welcome.
Yeah.
In fact, I encourage it because you're never too old to discover you love critters.
Yeah.
But there's like a really particular muddy spot in one of the bends of the creek that flows from the spring. And one of the kids was digging and digging. And they're like, I think I found a worm. I'm like, it's probably dead. Let me see it. I didn't say it's probably dead. I was just kind of like, here, let me see. Puts a queen snake in my hand, a very young one. If you're unfamiliar, queen snakes eat crayfish.
Yeah.
So, and they're really not seen often because they tend to stay in the muck.
Yeah.
They're one of our snakes that stay buried. So the kids were like, why are you freaking out, Ranger Taylor? Why are you freaking out? And I'm like, picture of it. I'm like, you guys, this is probably one of the few chances in your life you're going to see this kind of snake.
I'm always like, and on iNaturalist, log it.
Yeah, no, I'm a big iNaturalist fan. iNaturalist plug, not sponsored.
Yep. No, not sponsored. iNaturalist and Merlin. We all live for those. Man.
iNaturalist and Merlin.
Yeah, that dopamine rush that you get to show somebody, hey, look, I just figured out we have a weird grackle in our yard, and people are like, what is that app? I'm like, oh, yeah, just trust me. Here we go. And that's just great. Oh, sharing the love.
Oh, randomly, do you have armadillos that far over?
I haven't seen one here.
I've not seen one here, but I've seen them on the roads around. So
yeah,
you can kind of assume they are here, but I've never personally seen one on the park yet.
I suspect we have them around because literally to the right of where we're sitting in the visitor center, there's kind of like a forest, not kind of a forest. It is a forest. It's approximately a forest. But you can see where something has rooted around and kind of unsettled the forest floor, but not on such a scale that we would suspect like a feral or wild hog, which we don't have those yet. Knock on wood.
Not on the park yet.
Yeah.
Cross they never show up. But it kind of matches what an armadillo would do, but I've never seen one. I've never even seen a roadkill one out here. I hope I never do. I don't want anything to get hit by a car.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate. That's usually how you see them.
We saw one recently on a mountain near us that, it was just, what? It's like up on top of a mountain in the snow. And we're like,
I was like, I didn't think they did snow.
Yeah, and he's just sitting there beside the road.
We had to walk both ways to school, uphill in the snow.
In the snow, man. What are you doing up here?
He's a little pioneer armadillo. He's probably not happy about it, but here he is.
Yeah, up near Mount Balsam here in Western North Carolina. I was like,
Wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's really high elevation.
yeah, I was like, good luck on your journey. I was expecting him to be some homeward bound type thing with like a couple other animals. On a quest or
Possum behind
something.
him.
So, yeah, exactly. Possum and a little raccoon over on the hill.
Oh, that's amazing.
No, it was definitely something unusual there going on. But oh my gosh, so you guys, man, the park is, I mean, the primary focus is history.
Yes.
There, right? So we'll get into that, but first we've got to take a quick break. So hang on, gang. We got a lot more to tell you.
Destiny Beard, the lyrical soprano who will haunt your dreams. With her alluring melodies and intricate harmonies, this dark siren of wistful song shall capture your soul and lead you into the night. Check out Destiny's new single, The Haunting Is Over, with international musicians Sam Haines and Gary Bennett, as well as her other musical works at destinybeard.com.
We're back. For those of you that, if we ever do release this video, you just saw that. That's what we do. We just take drinks and just stare at each other for a moment while the commercials are playing. But oh my gosh, we love you guys so much. Thank you so much for coming on. This has been,
I love you guys.
this is
Thank
amazing. And I'm
you.
sure our travelers are going to go nuts over this because they love nature, they love history and all that. So again, the primary focus of the park is history. So it is as a historical site. So what are some of the highlights that you like insist on everybody? What should they see first when they get there? Let's start with that.
Oh, man.
So let me.
All right, go ahead.
We're not like, when you think a park, right? You think like sprawling mountains and like these great like mountaintop views of the sunset and like, oh, a waterfall. I'm sorry, but we don't have any of that.
We're tiny.
We're 263 acres in a valley area. We're in the Tennessee Valley. We do have what I would say is the thing you have to see. It's actually about 300 yards from our visitor center, so not a long trek. That's the benefit of it. Is the Council Spring or the Blue Hole Spring. And there's a lovely, about a quarter of a mile nature trail that takes you alongside the creek and lets you out into our field near where our beaver pond is. So I would say that's definitely the one thing. Like if you speed run past everything else, like that is the one thing you have to stop and see.
Yeah, that's the Blue Hole. The Blue Hole Trail is a half mile from the visitor center back to the visitor center, and you get to see the spring. It takes you past. We have the Eternal Flame monument that. Well, Taylor, what you tell them about the Eternal?
Practice for this, man.
It's been a minute. Taylor does this all the
really
time.
It's all
I've
good.
worked on it, but I'm not talking.
You're maintaining it. You're maintaining it.
Yeah.
He does that for me because I'm accident prone. Power tools, I'm not allowed to use them.
No, I'm not allowed anything electric. I understand. So yeah, that when I push the buttons here, all hell breaks loose. So exactly. It's not good.
Everybody needs a cord in their life that
does exactly.
But the Eternal Flame is a memorial for the Cherokee people that did not survive the Trail of Tears. So when I usually talk about this, I'm talking to like a group of 100 second graders. So if I explain this to you guys like you're in second grade, just roll with it. I don't mean
our audience. They're good with that. You know, even the ones that aren't in second grade are good.
Okay, now I'm just imagining like an auditorium of like 300 second graders.
There you go.
So the really cool thing about the Eternal Flame is that the fire that burns in it originated from here at Red Clay almost 150 years ago. So at every council meeting, even before the council meetings at Red Clay, part of the ceremony of it all was lighting a big fire. And during the winter, those coals from that council fire would be taken into families' homes to keep their home warm. But at that very last council meeting here at Red Clay, story goes that they split the ashes and coals into 4 pots. And then once they left in about October of 1838 on the Trail of Tears, those 4 pots were carried with them all the way from places a little bit north of here, Fort Cass. They were carried from places like Fort Cass, a little bit north of here, all the way to what would become Oklahoma eventually. And they used the ashes and coals then to reignite their council flame in their new home. Then sometime in, I believe, 1951, some elders from the Eastern Band. So to put it into perspective, Oklahoma's all the way out west. Eastern Band is over the mountains in Cherokee, North Carolina. Some elders were visiting out west, and they said, hey, not verbatim, I wasn't there. I wasn't alive. They said, hey, a lot of our families gathered at Red Clay for these council meetings. A lot of our families, we're here. Is there any way we can take some of that fire back with us to keep burning as an eternal flame? And the firekeepers in Tahlequah, Oklahoma said, yeah, sure, but I don't know how you're going to get it back burning. Mm-hmm. Because, again, Oklahoma to North Carolina, that sounds like, I don't know how many hours that is, but it's too many for me. They were smart. They had driven west in what I imagine is a rinky-dink metal pickup truck, kind of one, a papaw that drives one, or you may be a papaw with one. They got a big metal garbage can, and they shoveled the ashes and coals and flames still burning into that garbage can and took turns feeding it little bits of paper and other flammable things, all the way from Oklahoma to North Carolina, where they lit the eternal flame there. In 1984, once the eternal flame was finished being built here, a series of 7 young men ran with the flame on torches, kind of giant relay race style. Think like the Olympic opening ceremony. Yeah. They're passing the flame to each other, and then that very last runner runs up the spire and ignites it. Yay, Olympics. It was kind of like that, except they had a police escort over the Appalachian Mountains, down them, and over here to Red Clay until that very last runner ran up the hill and lit the flame as the eternal flame of the Cherokee Nation. And it's been pretty much burning here ever since, give or take any mechanical failures or the wind blows too hard.
or some freak storm. Yeah.
And then on the maintenance side of it, we have a small little backup pilot light that was lit off the same same fire in the maintenance shed that's way more stable. That if it goes out, sometimes it needs to go out for maintenance reasons. It gets relit off of that.
So it's still the same flame.
Preserve the
exactly.
The integrity is as preserved as it can possibly be.
That's right. So it's really neat little piece of history that we're.
That's incredible. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I bet just the feeling there. I can't wait to go. We haven't been ourselves. It's one of those we were so close and then we had to go away, but it is on the agenda.
That has to happen.
Oh, it is totally happening.
We're a quick stop. So
yeah, no, especially so close to us. It's only a few hours from us. So we are definitely, that is a must plan. So that's why we're talking to you about planning this trip and all that. So now you guys, like I said, you're part of the Coosa River Basin. And I mentioned beforehand, of course, the infamous Coosa River monster. He's an Alabama monster that was seen late 1800s, but had a horse's head and a serpent body. And of course, the stories, the first story is always 3 feet tall. Then, of course, later stories 20 feet tall, 40 feet tall, whatever. Maybe he was a little lieutenant, and now he's a big lieutenant. We don't know.
Well, monsters don't respect state lines.
Yeah, monsters don't respect state lines. So with the Coosa River Basin up there, any you are keeping your eyes out for any strange eggs or anything like that might be hatching in the area.
Oh, of course.
No, we regularly monitor.
They to get to the spring, they'd have it. Well, it'd have to, but it could. River otter do it all the time. They'd have to go through a couple culverts under a railroad track through a farmer's land, and he is very watchful. He lets us know if there's anything going on. He's a good neighbor to us.
Okay.
We love him to death, but
Good to hear.
And
Good
then
to hear.
through a beaver pond and
Through a really
But-
shallow creek, so I imagine it would have to like wriggle a little bit. There's no
But-
swimming to be had there.
Maybe
but yeah, you can make it up.
corn snake size. Who knows? We don't know how these things start.
Could be, yeah. It's like I said, river otter do it. So
Yeah.
There's
no,
like-
it's just the Coosa River Monster is just one of those fun ones. Just because you get
Oh,
to say
yeah.
Coosa, yeah, which is a fun word to say. But let's see.
I grew up in I grew up just a little bit west of Gadsden in the Coosa River area. So
yeah, Gadsden. I'm telling that town. They got a potential Mothman festival just do the Gadsden Coosa River Festival. Oh my God,
they
Coosa
could.
River Monster?
Gadsden could handle it too. It's a great little town that could use something.
Yeah.
Use a little bit of something. You know?
Yeah. All right, you and I, we're gonna talk to him, Cord. We're gonna make that happen.
Let's do it.
All right. So okay, now back on track here for now you guys also have so the history primarily focus of the Cherokee Trail of Tears and all that, which is again just the dark side of history there that we don't like to talk about, but is important to talk about and to remind people this stuff happened and it's not pleasant. From that, though, from the ashes, basically, some good has come. The Cherokee tribe over here in Cherokee, they do their Unto the Hills,
Yes,
which is amazing for those that haven't seen that, where it tells the story of the Trail of Tears and all that. And they do in that huge amphitheater built into the mountain. It's incredible. Not the most comfortable seats, but that's for another time. So you're experiencing the Cherokee. Let's say you go to Cherokee, you have all the you sit with Kathy Littlejohn on Storyteller Night. You go to the Cherokee Museum. You do that. Then you head over to Murphy, North Carolina, and then you can see the carvings of the Moon-Eyed people. You can also see the Leech Place, another great Cherokee creature that is still marked on their trail by the river there in Murphy. We've got us in Franklin, the Nicowassee Mound, which is another Cherokee tribe headquarters and all that before Rutherford Trace chased them all away.
I really wish I could have seen what the mounds originally looked like.
right.
They're all so diminished now.
Yeah, because we got William Bartram and all these other guys talk about how 4 stories tall and all that. Now they're still impressive, but you're like, oh man, to have seen it in its original state.
Yeah.
And then we got Judiculla Rock near here, which is another wonderful legend. So there is so much Cherokee history, and then all the way over to you guys and Chickamauga, the Ocoee River has a bunch of wonderful Cherokee areas and former cities. It's amazing that they've got this huge historical and natural place, and so much legend, so much myth, so much folklore for us, but for them, it's history. Like I said.
Yeah.
So let's get into another. Cordy, got another tale for us for the second half here, or I put you on the spot. So
no, you're good. You're good. You got another. I've been trying to remember the specific name.
Oh,
Which one?
The over there in
Oh,
literally I'm having a bit of a moment where every single word I'm trying to specifically remember, my brain remembers it's supposed to.
Oh no, that's fine. That's what our friend Google is for. But no, I have the same issues, but I have transient epilepsy, so it's one of those I can't find words sometimes, and I'll spend literally hours going. It's a U word for a school, and it's like for higher school, and I cannot remember. And I'll sit there. Carrie will say 2 hours later, I'll just sit there and go university. I
have those at like the wee hours of the morning. I'm like, oh my God, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
It's a.
Oh, I closed it. Do you want me to pull it?
You did. Well, okay.
We're a professional show, gang. It's all good.
No. It's what's the town right over here? Kahada. There we are. I'm like, sorry. I'm like the town right down the road that I'm in all the time with the wilderness and the mountain and the.
It's right there.
All right, so Kahada. So we have a statue in Kahada, which is another snake story The
Yay.
Cherokee have all sorts of snake stories. They
Yeah.
I mean, even in the story about Agniches and Ictana that I mentioned earlier, there's like multiple snakes within that story. Oh, it's like, oh, they had feelings about it. So so over here, close to us in Cahata, Georgia, just over the line, Red Clay is situated on the state line. And you could, if it wasn't for a very specific hill, very
What's it
creatively
called,
named
Cord?
Big Hill,
Big Hill. Yeah, what a great name.
right
Yeah.
next to us, you'd be able to see Cahata Mountain. Actually, from an intersection in Cleveland nearby, you can see Cahata Mountain. So very close to the park. There was a town at the base of this mountain. The mountain was in their hunting grounds where they constantly hunted, and they had this monstrous snake-like creature that was haunting this forest and preventing them from going and being able to hunt themselves. This monster, the description of it at first makes me laugh. The more every time I like really think about it, I'm like, okay, that is terrifying to me at least. Is like a snake, but it has feet, no legs, just feet, and it has these massive triangular shaped feet, kind of on its front section, and then again on its rear section. And to move, it has to move by drawing up its rear section towards its front section, which of course kind of bows it up off the ground in the middle, and then it like kind of reaches out really far and just like an enormous inchworm.
Like a
listeners
terrifying
listening right now, like just say
inchworm.
inchworm. It's like an inchworm. We all know it.
Yeah.
Like, but imagine an inchworm once again as big as a tree
Yeah.
that is carnivorous, that eats whole deer, whole people, just like Jurassic Park inchworm over here. Like, woo! These people, the people in this town, of course, just stay out of the woods. They say when they would go hunting, they would hear the bleat of a fawn, like a little baby deer, and that was the sound that this Istechi makes to draw people in. And so they just gave up. They're like, no more hunting. We'll eat squash, beans, and corn. So a relative of someone in the town came down from the north to come visit, and they would, of course, like most cultures, they would kind of have like cook a bigger meal, a feast, and said, "Hey, welcome here. We're gonna cook this big, huge meal, this feast of corn and beans and rice. Rice, not quite right.
Whatever they find."
And he's just like, "Where's the meat? Where's the venison? Where's the turkey?" And they tell him about this Istechi, and he decides like, "Well, I'll go out there. I'll at least bring back a deer." And they're telling him like, no man, there's really nothing to be trifled with. And he's got his mind made up. And they said, well, if you hear the bleating of a fawn, don't trust it. And if this thing sees you and is chasing you, don't try to run. You're not going to be able to outrun it, and don't run up a hill. It'll catch you. So he's like, okay. This guy hasn't seen it. He doesn't have the fear of Istechi in him yet. So he goes out into the forest and he's hunting, and he took with him his hunting bag that he's got, of course, a knife or some sort of tool like that. He's got his fire making stuff, and he probably took some sort of preserved foods. So these hunting trips, they could be quite a while.
Yeah.
So he's out there, and assumedly he forgot about their warnings as he hears a bleating of a fawn, and he's like, well, if there's a little deer, maybe there's big deer, right? And so he's like creeping up on it, and he hears it, and he's creeping up on it a little more, and he's getting closer and closer, and finally he looks through the trees and the branches, and he sees this massive shape, and he looks up and up and up and up and up, and then he sees the head of this massive snake looking down at him as it's just arched up, trying to get over the trees to find him. And so, of course, he takes off running. He just panics, and he's running away as fast as he can. He hears this massive snake crashing through the trees behind him, and it's gaining on him, and it's gaining on him. And he says, I gotta get away from it. I gotta get up get up where I can see it, I guess is what he thought, because you run straight up the side of this mountain. It just like most mountains is like it starts off a little sloped, and as you're getting higher and higher, it's getting steeper and steeper, at least for a while, and then you start getting into the upland trees, and the leaves are slippery, and I imagine he feels very hunted at this point, and finally he kind of has a bit of a moment of clarity and remembers, don't run up the hill.
Yeah.
And so he takes off running laterally around the side of this hill, because this Istuchi is gaining on him very quickly. It's able to make much more ground than him. But as he's running laterally around the mountain, as the snake would go up to kind of like push the front of its body forward. Sorry, I'm making all these hand motions. It's
like I said, we're an audio podcast, but it's okay. Just trust us, people. It's amazing to watch.
He's running around the room. He's got these full body like motions. He's like jumping. He's dancing.
No.
It's like almost watching CGI. The animation of this is incredible.
He's got shadow puppets.
Yeah, man, you're all missing.
Shadow puppets. No,
we'll put this on air at some point. I promise you.
So he's running around this mountain, and this Istuchi, as it's lifting up the front half of his body and trying to make as much ground. See, he's on the tilt of the hill, so as the front half of his body starts slipping further and further down the hill, and he has to take it a lot slower. So our brave young hunter is able to really make a lot more ground on him. And finally, he gets far enough ahead to where he kind of develops this plan, and he sneaks down the hill, and he takes out his hunting bag, and he takes out his fire-making equipment from it. He starts catching the base of this mountain on fire. All the leaves down there, and once again, the fires, anybody that's dealt with wildland fire, or hopefully in a controlled sense, the fire likes to travel uphill. Heat goes up, and the fire travels uphill much more easily than downhill. And so he's running around the base of this mountain, lighting as many fires as it can. They're conjoining together, and they're rising up this hill. And once again, it starts getting into that upland leaf litter that he was slipping on earlier, and it's getting steeper and steeper and moving faster and faster. And he finally looks up and he sees this Istuchi. And whereas it had its head up above the trees looking for him, now it's looking at this wall of fire coming at it. And it's kind of like, and it goes up the hill and up the hill as far as it can until eventually there's nowhere else to run. And it tries to make this one last leap over the fire, and he doesn't quite make it. Straight down into the fire it goes. And now the Mooney book that I get this from, we'll plug that at the end. It mentions that it burned it completely to ash and was completely gone, but I don't know. That's a big creature. That's a lot of, not to get too much into icky biology, but there's a lot of liquid.
Yeah. That would take a lot of heat.
I believe it turned it into ash, so maybe it's still out there. I don't know. But
they're segmented. We think they're segmented.
Hey, maybe that is
yeah.
The people of the town never saw it again, and they were relieved to be able to go hunting and done with the Istuchi.
And that goes back to the Appalachian folklore and Appalachian traditions of if you hear something strange in the woods and you weren't expecting it, you didn't hear it. Just ignore it.
Don't go investigate.
Don't go investigate. Although that's my job. But Erica would be like, nope, we're out.
I'm a big noper too. I'm like, nah, I'm not.
Yeah. So, but man, thank you guys so much for coming on. Carrie, any further questions?
I feel like we have to ask them, since they're a state park and they have a forest, if they've seen.
Oh yeah, have are there any Bigfoot sightings in your area?
Oh, well,
no comment.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh, another one of those. Oh, I'm sorry. That's okay. We've learned to experience that. So.
Maybe Hiwassee and Ocoee State Parks.
Oh, Hiwassee and Ocoee.
Okay. We'll reach out to them. All right.
A little bit closer to y'all.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
We get excited when we find signs of bear. We've never even seen bear here.
Oh wow, really?
Okay.
Signs.
Yeah, maybe it could be the big guy, but
all right. Well, then we'll know. We'll know. All right. So, all right. Now, any other questions, Carrie, for you?
Well, I was going to say, I know you have a lovely spring that you've told us about, but do you have a particular favorite spot in the park?
Oh, absolutely. I do.
I do.
Okay.
I mean, of course I do. I
Yeah,
do.
I
I
would.
do.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why you're
It's
having to
like,
think about
I
it. It's
do.
like, yeah.
All right, so
I don't.
There was,
what's your favorite spot, Cord?
so there's a spot. We've got a little section of the park that you're allowed to go to, but there's no trails over there. It's kind of across a railroad track. It's difficult to get to. We call it the back 40. It's like
Technical terms.
Classic, yeah.
within the park locally. It's like, I don't know, it's a back 40. I don't know how many acres it is. It's
Yeah.
not 40 acres. I know that. But it's right next to Mill Creek, which is one border of our park. And it's a really neat ecology. It's very quiet over there. There's always a lot of birds and just super peaceful, usually super peaceful. I was out there doing a stream ecology study one time, and it was after a shift, so it was getting close to dark, and it didn't feel peaceful. It was definitely felt like I was being run out of there. I don't know. Maybe it was just my own getting creeped out. Maybe I'm afraid of the dark, but it felt weird energy. But in the daytime, it's very intriguing to me.
Oh,
And
there we go.
It's beautiful.
There we go. All right, Taylor, what about you?
I will say about Cord Spot, it weirded me out the time I've been over there in the daytime.
Ah,
I don't know what it is.
It has
It's
a
just
feeling.
weirdly, it's like uncomfortably quiet, even though there's a railroad track. Like you have to cross the railroad track to get over there.
well,
It's just weird.
we talk about things walking the lines. 90% of our listener encounter stories people send us are either from truck drivers or train conductors.
Huh.
Or line workers, because they're the ones that are that something about them that these things travel along. So unusual, just a theory.
It could have something to do with it. I've never thought about that. But
Well, I'm
yeah,
never
that
going to
makes
become a
sense.
train conductor, a truck driver, or a line worker.
There you go.
Learned that today.
All right. So anyway, back to
Yeah,
Favorite spot.
My favorite spot, we had an Eagle Scout build kind of like a viewing platform near our beaver pond and kind of the wetland area of the park. And as a bird lover, bird scientist, bird watcher, what have you, I've come to really enjoy that spot because it's quiet over there. It's far enough from the road that you don't really hear as much of the noise of cars. Not that we're too busy around here, but you can hear some really nice bird song early in the morning. It's just a good place to sit down and just kind of take it in.
Yeah, it's a great spot.
There you go. There you go. All right. Well, that sounds pretty epic. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you what a pleasure this has been. Carrie's been looking forward to this since Green Ice Festival and all that. So now we're gonna put your socials and stuff in the show notes, but where can people follow you and learn more about the park? What are some important things they should check out?
Well, before I forget, I'm sorry. It's that James Mooney book is one of our primary sources. You can learn more about it from the book itself, but we're online. The Myths of the Cherokee and Sacred Formulas of the Cherokees.
By James Mooney.
By James Mooney.
Classic, and we'll put a link to that in there because it's an invaluable resource. It really is.
Another good resource.
Hey,
Cherokee Earth Dwellers by Christopher Tootin and Hastings Shade.
Right.
The Shade family's lovely. It's got some great stories that aren't in the Mooney book, and it's got lists of Cherokee names for plants and then trees and fish and insects and all kinds of cool stuff. So that's one we use a lot too.
Adding that to the pile here, adding that to the research library. So awesome.
It's a great book. But social media, Red Place State Historic Park on Facebook, that's where we're most active. And if I remember, I'll make the same posts on our Instagram account. If you search Red Place State Historic Park, you'll find it. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much where you can find us.
I'm not on social media, and you just have to come by the park to see me.
That works. And directions will be there as well. So definitely go to the park website, gang. It's amazing, very informative. And when you get there and you get to see Taylor and Cord, tell them that Eerie Travel sent you. So
yes, please.
Yeah. All right, gang. Well, with that, we'd like to say thank you to our patrons for keeping us afloat. We are looking forward to it. And now we are going to be doing some more events this year. We're doing another book tour, and we've got a bunch of convention signings and stuff like that coming up. So eerietravels.com if you want to follow us and see where we're going to be. And hopefully we'll be bumping into these guys at a couple places. And I'm sure their website will have any future events there. So you can do the walks with them and the talks with them and see all the fun things. And hopefully we'll see them at the Green Ice Festival again, if we're lucky. And that would be great. And with that, I'm just going to say, travelers, when you're out there and you're going to your state parks, find a ranger, learn about it. You're going to find stuff on your own. That's great. But if you can find a ranger to point you to the special places and some places that you may not find on the beaten path, it's a whole nother experience. It really is incredible. And thank you guys again for coming so much. It's incredible. And when you're out at Red Clay State Park and you follow those railroad tracks, just kind of go across, get to that creepy area that just feels a little off. Watch out for giant inchworms, and we'll see you on the other side.
Thank you, guys.